Hey folks, we're gonna do some artwork this morning for an Eberron adventure called Crystals of Mabar. There you can see it. Give me a hot second here to check my mic to make sure that I'm coming through clearly. I'm gonna grab a link, post it on the social medias, and grab a link. Oh yeah, that's super loud and clear. No complaint there, boss. All right, let's get that volume aligned and grab a link. And we're going to kick over to the social media real fast and get stuff done. In the meantime, while I distract you, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. And I've been creating content on the DMsGuild since 2018. I've been a DM since 1987. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999. And I've been an Eberron enthusiast as a DM since 2004. But I haven't created anything on the DMsGuild for Eberron yet. So we're creating this adventure, Crystals of Mabar, as a love letter to the campaign setting. It's for characters leveled in 7-8. You're fighting necromancers in the Carnwood of Karnath on the continent of Corvair. Pretty straightforward. We've been building all of the assets for the adventure and all the illustrations here on stream. If you think this stuff is cool, we have 599 subscribers. Holy Hannah! Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we're live in the future. Here's a string of books that we've already created on the DMsGuild: Color Mana System, Spelljammer, Combat and Exploration, Color Mana, the subclasses. Converting all the subclasses. That was part of a collab project that I was involved in. Point Warlocks went. Actually, it already went gold, so this is updated now. Point Warlocks just went gold. Thanks a lot, guys. Pacts and Patrons Ravnica. There's a bunch of good stuff in here. Where is the? Oh yeah, the Color Mana Spellpoint variant rules. Switching out the Vancian spell slots and 8 schools of magic with the 5-color mana magic system for Magic the Gathering. That's a pretty big accomplishment. I'm really proud of that one, but it's a niche audience. Spelljammer, also pretty niche, but man, this book is good for scaling combat. And then Pacts and Patrons is converting all the Ravnica guilds into Warlock patrons, which is pretty cool, but the book that we've been working on in the evenings, including last night, is the Bashing campaign. I think that's my best work so far. We made this book cover around episode 40. But yeah, 599 subscribers. And we got to 500 subscribers in June. And it's August now. So in the past 2 months, I've picked up 199 subscribers. That's amazing. I didn't even see that happen. It was so fast. So I am thrilled that people are digging on what we're doing here, and that is making sense to people. I'm incredibly proud of that. So let's see. We got the Pegasus Tower here. We got the Warlock. We got the gargoyles down there. So this is the City of Sharn that we created. And we just did all the light dots on the building because when you look at it as a whole, again, we're going to have the inside frame of a building with Raheem Malign from the Council of 12 is basically in his office. So this gets pushed pretty far into the background of the piece. And the actual framing of the piece looks like this. And the rest of the page is over here, where we're describing the bonus resources that the characters get with the plot hook. This plot hook, the Council of 12 have recruited the characters to basically run a heist mission to activate a teleportation circle in the Necromancer's lab, so they can send a SWAT team in to clear them out. And so the bonus resources that you get are 6 runes, the rune stones that you can use to activate the teleportation circle, so that they can get to where you're at. These are a description of Solzu. Actually, we got rid of the description of Solzu. because he's not really relevant to the adventure. But Armand and Juliet, who the risk management team will detain if they're alive. So Armand and Juliet, we'll probably switch it considering how the text is sitting. Swap that to Juliet and Armand. These are Ader Academy quote-unquote students that are actually double agent spies working for the 12 to keep an eye on any new magical technology that's brewing up that would be relevant. And there's a lot of alchemistry stuff going on inside this adventure for folks to play with. And here's our sending stone. So I'm wondering if that sending stone shouldn't be here, and like these kids shouldn't be more like down here. Maybe that makes sense. Let's disable that layer mask. I can contemplate that for another few ticks. That's not bad framing. I'm pretty good with that. Huh. Yeah. Okay, that might work. So we're working on this on the side in the evenings, and we did all the dots on the building like we said we would last night. So I'm really happy that I have the opportunity to actually start working on this in the evenings instead of having to fuck around with text all the time. Though obviously I still have text to mess around with, but we adapt the thing as we proceed through the adventure to help reflect. We want the text and the art to mirror and complement each other. So I am fine with adapting the text to accommodate the art that we end up coming up with. Smudge that out a little bit here. Just to mess with that for a second, just because it's bugging me. And then we'll get that out of the way. I'm going to disable the layer mask again. I will conceal Rahid and the door from the windows. Rahid, windows. We're back into the city. Okay, so where we're at with the illustration is putting toppers. So we've been we started doing toppers last night. And again, this stuff is sitting basically behind Rahid. So like a lot of like this stuff over here isn't going to really matter all that much. So we're going to use these three. We're going to use these four buildings here as basically practice for us to make sure that we're building these things out proper. So by the time we finish those four, we'll have a pretty good feeling for how this should go. We can finish off the rest of these buildings here and here, and then we obviously don't need to do nearly as much of a topper back here for these buildings because of their distance and gloom. We'll want to do a little bit of topping for these floating islands, and then we'll start working on the foreground with Rahid and stuff. I'll probably start working on Rahid in the evening, continue working on the toppers here during the day, and once we close in on it, we'll cap off with his desktop. But yeah, so far so good. I'm really happy with how this is all coming along. So nothing going on here, huh? How about here? Free transform. All right, let's get started. So first thing we're going to do is let's go up to our reference here, and let's hunt for some toppers and some colors that might be fun. Let's grab this. That's a real yellow look to it. I don't think that's what I really want. That should do fine. How about you? That's kind of the same. How about you? Okay, whatever that is, let's just go with it for now, because there's no reason for me to really pontificate too heavily over it. We're going to start off real simple. We're just basically doing, right now we're just doing highlights. And that's real easy. Once the highlights are in, we'll be able to look at what's the, like, how much color, like information density, like how does it look, the aesthetics of it, and what is it missing that could use further embellishment. So just by adding highlights, you can often minimize the additional work that you need to actually make something look good. I don't want to cut corners, but I also want to make use of smart techniques to expedite the work that needs to get done. We've got probably another 12 illustrations that we need to finish before all the art is, like all the official like spot art and page art and stuff is done. We still have the frame to do, page texture. We actually have to mount the artwork into the piece. And string up all the hyperlinks inside the PDF, and then package all of the assets like the map assets and tokens and blah blah blah. So we still got some work to do, but we are definitely swirling the drain at this point. I think like this is September, October. I think November is incredibly realistic at this point. I've been hyping November as a launch date for this for a while, and I think that's feasible. And then we'll be gearing up the Martial Powers book for publication. We'll start doing artwork for that once this is completed, which I am extremely excited about. Free transform, flip horizontal. Slide this over into position. That Bastion campaign book is going to be so fucking good. I do artwork like this Monday through Fridays in the morning, basically arting all the books that I create. But on Mondays and Thursday nights and Tuesday, Friday lunches, including today, we do game design. And we've been designing the Bastion campaign system. And that's going to be the next thing that we publish. And then behind that, I anticipate we have the Mecha Kaiju book, and we have Martial Powers, and we have the update for the Color Mana system for 2024. Those are all in the pipe, and we'll be publishing those items as soon as as soon as we get to them. As soon as we get to them, we'll publish them. We're slowly evolving through all of these books, and as we do, new ideas percolate. So as one book gets completed, as we say, it inspires another 4. So every time I finish a book, it makes me want to create 4 more books, and that is not an exaggeration. There's a constant cascade of, ooh, and then we can, ooh, and then we can, and then we can, and then we can, and then we can, and just a good supplement will inspire more good supplements, and I am proud that the vast majority of books that I've produced have had that sort of impact on my own design, on what I want to build. And for now, we're enjoying the safe cove of DMsGuild as a safe space for us to be able to create content with generous licenses and in a ready marketplace. And we may eventually graduate out of DMsGuild and start building stuff on our own IP, or who knows. But we may find ourselves into Kickstarters and stuff. But if we did, this is the exact same process that would happen. Like if I were to do crowdfunding, it would basically be here's a slew of books I've already created. You can watch me make them all in hundreds of hours on YouTube as proof of concept that when I get my teeth into an idea, I follow through and complete it, which is the biggest risk that you can have as a new content creator, of not being able to prove that you can get the job done. And it might start off simple. It might just be, hey, this book's going to get made, but it's going to take me like 6 months to make the artwork for this book. Help support the effort, and I'll give you an art pack of all the art assets that go with it, or something like that. And when I actually go and design stuff independently, without being on, because I can't kickstart DMsGuild books. I can't give you a book on the DMsGuild. I have to sell it, because technically it's Wizards of the Coast that owns it. But if I end up going, like for example, the Bastion campaign that we're doing right now, if they put the Bastion campaign into the Creative Commons, and thus it would be available for third-party content creators to actually use, I would seriously consider kickstarting art for that project instead of just putting it on the DMsGuild. And that's exciting to me. I know it's going to be a number of months before the Bastion campaign gets completed, and WotC claims that they will be ongoing with updating what is in Creative Commons. So it's possible, though I think improbable, that the Bastion campaign will find its way on into the Creative Commons. But the system is so good, and the need for a good Dominion system in 5e that actually uses 5e mechanics, we need it. And it's not going to come from Wizards of the Coast. And no other third-party content producer is actually trying to create ship combat, for example, that actually uses 5e mechanics, or Dominion systems that actually use 5e game mechanics. That is a major priority for me whenever I create something on the DMsGuild. Like, this has to be reinforced and supported by rules that Wizards themselves have already published. I want to see this thing. I want to see whatever it is that we do be represented and obviously apparent in the core rulebook. Obviously, with them updating the core rulebook, like they don't mention proficiency dice in the 2024 book, so that's a little off-brand. But they did say everything is reverse compatible. So if I want to use proficiency dice in a system, that's still good to go. Which is how we make the Bastion system work. Let's do that. Now, do I want to add? I think I do. I think I like that. Just gonna do this. Let's go with edges a little bit. Let's do like that. There we go. Copy paste for transform, flip horizontal. Slide that into place like that, and then we're going to merge down, and then we're going to drop it underneath, and then we're going to drop the opacity a bit. Stippling in some texture here that might look like flagstones or something, or like shingles. Sorry, shingles is the word I was looking for. The word that you are looking for is shingles. That feels pretty good. Let's see. Can we do the same? Oh, too good. Merge that down. Oh, right. There. We'll set that up, drop that in there, and then we're going to stipple, 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 stipple. Here. And then let's trim this down a little bit, make it a little less abrasive. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like that. I feel like we need something, a weird redishness to it. I like that. Oh wait, nope. That is not where we want to be. We want to create a new layer here. That's my timely timer to make sure that I stay on target with my timing. I've got... How much time do I have left this morning? I've got another hour left this morning. Plenty of time for us to mess around. So we're gonna be working on the trade order, and probably get into settlements today on our lunchtime design stream. That is going to be, I expect that to be around 2:30 Seattle time, which is -8 UTC, which occurs in 7:50. That's 7.5 hours from now. So if you thought last night's stream was cool, we're going to be doing more of that today at lunch. And then Thursday night, like last night, we'll be picking it up, continuing with settlements and armies and conflicts and sabotage. And we'll see how far we get. But it's coming together. All the details in the Bastion campaign are coming together really, really nicely. Let's do that. Copy paste for transform. Flip. Horizontal. Get that into position. Get that out of the way. Trim that stuff up a smidge. Clean that up. Copy paste, free transform, flip horizontal. Bloop, bloop. There we go. Slide that into position, merge down. That feels pretty good. Merge down. fix this up a little bit here. Not bad. Let's do this. That's interesting. You're in here somewhere. Oh. I understand now. Thank you. Power was inside me the whole time. Duplicate. Free transform. Flip horizontal. Shimmy that on over. How are you? There you are. Good. Merge down. Thank you. It's fairly interesting. Let's keep that. I mean, this is all going to just be behind Rahid anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We're practicing. We're setting up a language and establishing how things can look. I'm gonna merge most of this down. Merge. We'll call you window top. Next. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee and chase it with some water and keep at it. Not bad. All right, let's see. Let's go to our reference. Let's pluck some color. That feels good. Grab that one. Let's do sweep down like that. No, wait. It's more like that. There we go. That seems like a decent angle. And let's try Nah, not like that. Let's do this. And we'll just smudge out like we do. Clean up those edges a bit, extend them again. And then we're gonna curve and wrap this cone around. Let's just flatten it out. There we go. We'll be like this. So it goes out to the edges, and then we're going to take an eraser, like a 10% eraser. We're just going to trim at the edges at the same angle. It's a real easy way to make an object look curved, is by doing like I did that with a lot of the lighting here as well, to give it that curved look to it. A little bit of texture and some curve lighting is often all you really need to make something look pretty damn good. Looks pretty damn good. So we'll do the same. Down the line here. Just do like that. 100%. Yep, that's gonna work out. So let's smudge this out. Like that. And we curve and carve in. Curve and carve in. We don't have to worry about this foreground overlap yet. It's not a big concern to us right now. We'll sweep that up when we get to the erasing part, which will be in just a moment. I'm going to hit save here just in case disaster strikes. And then we're going to, again, we're using an eraser tool and only 10%. It's very, very mild. See, I can tap on this a number of times and just slowly work my way into the piece like that. Be able to create that result, and then trim across here a little bit, trim that down. Super easy to do. It doesn't even have to be that smooth. It's just the changing the lighting like that gives it that, automatically just gives it a curved look. See, it adds texture without actually having to do a lot. How do we want to do this? I think we want to do this different. I feel like we want to do like this the shingles sort of effect going down the line here. I also want to grab this. Just breeze that in there like that. Just that feels pretty good. Nice. This is all really coming along very nicely. Very happy with this. But again, this is all for naught because this is going to be in the background. So it won't even matter. But by going through this process, by the time we get to the foreground, the stuff that we're doing in the foreground is going to work. Because we're taking the time now to figure out how to make it work. Trim that up. Each painting is going to be its own challenge, its own question, and sometimes there's skills that transfer from one illustration to another that you can just, I know how this technique works, let's do it. Like the lighting on the buildings. I know the flat plane of squares, and then using that eraser curve effect, and then creating dots in it. Looks, especially for distant buildings, looks pretty good. It becomes more and more sus as you get closer to the foreground. But for distant buildings, this style works fantastic. The reason why in the foreground this will work is because so much of it is being covered already by other foreground stuff, so it de-emphasizes what's going on. But I'll probably add additional points of interest along these buildings here and here along the faces, like balconies or some sort of outcropping or something to keep up the variety. But the stuff that's further back, that's other than putting a little bit of topper color on these, that's all the detail those things really need. They do the job, especially like these over here. They're doing their job. They're doing just fine. So you can also like keep an eye on how much effort do you need to put into any particular technique, you know, like, is this relevant or not? This, we're specifically doing it because we're practicing the building toppers that will matter. And if we leave Rahid and his office window out of the picture, it's not bad stock art. So we'll I'm getting more and more around the idea of setting up a Shopify page as a place to sell stock art. It's been something that hasn't been 100% intuitive for me to consider, but it is something that I'm working on. So there's a lot of mental barriers I have to get around because yeah, I don't think I like that. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna paint over this. Well, hey, what's going on, Gabby? It's good to see you. Let's do that. What's you got going on? Well, like I said, I can work on these things in the evening now, so I have an opportunity to push everything further ahead. Every time I come back in the morning, I'll have something more done in the evening the night prior, so I'll be able to advance the ball a lot quicker. Doing well. Thank you. God, I'm hungry as hell. Normally I have a pretty tight food window from like 10 till 2 is the only block of time that I'll eat, and typically I'll stay like within 1,400 or less calories to be able to maintain or drop weight. But I am starving today, so I don't know if I'm going to have the mental fortitude to hold off till noon-ish or not. We'll see if I get there. But otherwise, I'm doing fantastic. That's my beep. I've got what, 40 minutes? Yeah, I got 40 minutes left, so we can keep stabbing at this thing. there, and let's go like this. Perfect. Take this and push it out. I'm gonna up the strength of that smudge brush there. There. And we'll smooth that out and get it within the lines. Straighten that out. I'm at 599 subscribers. We had 500 subscribers at the beginning of June. And it looks like probably by the beginning of September, in a couple of days, maybe I'll pick up another subscriber. So we went from 400 to 500 subscribers from January to June. And then from June to August, basically, we've gained 99 more. So we're picking up some momentum. I'm really excited about that. It seems like more and more people are really getting, like, are understanding what it is that we're trying to do here, and they're interested in sticking around for the ride, which is awesome. That's what I was hoping for. So it's super fun to make books, but it's also incredibly lonely, because the amount of just anything that you craft or produce, it's a very solo experience. So there's always being an artist is always a lonely, tortured existence. So it's only the advent of social media and streaming like this that I've had the emotional endurance to be able to persevere through this. And so to that, I really appreciate everyone that's been involved. Thanks a lot for everyone being here. But the more ideas that we put out and the longer we have to talk about the things that we do, it seems like the more people are finding it and resonating with the ideas that we're putting out, and slowly, I guess, creating a tribe. I'm stoked about that. I'm super stoked about that. That feels pretty good, but what we're gonna do, I see some text. Give me a hot second. Just gonna cut that in half. Copy, paste, free transform, flip horizontal. Symmetry. Merge down. So, hey. How you doing, Steve? It's good to see you. I'm proud to be alive today, my man. There, that's the proper positioning. I've got Beatles in my head. George Harrison specifically. How I feel. No, what is my life without you? Yeah, Without You, I think, is the actual name of the song. If you know what I mean. That song's just been rattling in my head lately. Don't know why. Let's take that And then copy, paste, free transform, flip horizontal. Nice. I'm going to merge down. Erase all this garbage. Trim along the base here. Do like that. I like that. So let's go back here. What we're gonna call this one. Fuck, I don't know, man. Clay Cone. We'll call you Clay Cone. We're gonna come back over here to Pegasus. Ooh, I've got that complication. Oh, that's gonna work. No, honestly, I think the less I have here, what we could do though is we could put a block in like this. It's got this weird angular bit going to it with what feels like a round dais on top where the Pegasus is sitting. So I think I want to do it like maybe like this. I've got a new chair in route. I'm with a little bit of luck, I should get it tomorrow and have it assembled and have a brand new squeaky free chair by Thursday morning, so I can flop about like I do and not make a bunch of racket. Found a decent chair on 100%, 50% clearance. So, courtesy of Best Buy. There's a Best Buy next door to where I live, so it's real easy for me to shop there. They carry a bunch of Wacom tablets, the type of tablets that I use. So if my tablet goes down, it's easy for me just to walk over and buy a replacement. They've got like 4 of them in stock right now. My life is complicated and difficult, but it pays me back by making things that it can manage as manageable as possible, and I appreciate that about my life, very much so. Let's create let's start in another building. Let's go with this guy up here. Let's find. I think something radiant. Let's do that. That'll do. God, my body is screaming at me to eat food. That is crazy. Lock that in. I'm very much looking forward to continuing with the Bastion campaign design today. That is going to be some fun. out. Increase the strength of our smudge brush to kick out to the edges. Wait a second. That's what we want. Thank you. Like that. Good. Started catching that the new Alien Earth on FX, and so far I like it. I'm pretty happy with it. It's definitely leaning into the Covenant prequel lore more so than the first two Alien movies created, but it's still decent storyline. I'm good with it. I like the effects. I like the characters so far. The situation is ridiculous as usual, but that's part of the joy of space horror. But I like what it's doing. Hey, what's going on? Ah, fair enough. Morning with a U. That's clever. That's clever. Did I take my antibiotics? I'm on antibiotics right now. I've got toe fungus. There's fungus growing underneath my toenails, and the only way to really resolve that is either tear off all your toenails, let them regrow from scratch, or go on antibiotics to stymie their growth while your toenails grow out. So the new toenail won't have any fungus because the antibiotics prevent the fungus from spreading. So you just slowly trim off your toenails that's infected, and when that's all gone, you're infection free. Cheers. But it also takes 6 months for your toenails to grow out. So I've literally been on antibiotics for months now, and I have no idea what that's going to do to my future. Like if I'm building up some sort of immunity or not, I honestly don't know. It's plausible. But I do know it's working for the time being. Merge down. Oh no, I took it. Yeah. Trim that down here. Curve that up. I'm tilting my head so you know I'm thinking about things. Like, am I happy with this? Let's drop the opacity down a little bit. I think that'll probably help. Ooh, I kind of like that idea. Let's do that. Let's take this. And then increase the strength of the smudge. Erase. 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 Switch in place. That feels pretty good. And we'll use the same eraser techniques. Good. Yeah, it feels pretty good. We'll take this topper and drop its opacity down. And then drop this in here like that. The undercarriage a little bit to give it the same curve. There. Just cut across here just to make sure that's uniform. That looks pretty good. It's good enough. Actually, it's not. Let's here. Let's drop that down a little bit. Yeah, that feels too bright. Dim you a bit. There you go. That'll be fine. I think this is stuff that's still behind Rahid. Let's go with drab. Call that one drab. Yep, see, this is all still hidden stuff. But we're learning. See all the things that we're learning about techniques right now? This is going to come in handy when we're building out the Bastion campaign to have illustrations like this in our at our disposal to include. Because I'm going to include this painting as spot art in the Bastion book for sure. Because it's a city. Of course I am. Of course I am. Where are we at on time? It's 7:35. I've got 20 minutes left. There's a minute left on my clock. I decided to go ahead and just pop it. Pop my shoulder while I'm at it. All right, let's grab another color off of our reference grid and start working on the next building. I feel like you're up for the task. Ooh, red. Sharp red. Neat. Let's put that here. Again, I only have to do half of it because I can just do flip horizontal, the symmetry, to have that duplicate the effect. And this is a simple enough structure that I'm just doing, for the most part, just face-on architecture. Nothing too perspective pointy. It's pretty flat. It's the quote-unquote parallax effect of other buildings in the background, more distant. That's selling the perspective more than any vanishing point is going to. So in that sense, it's a very simple composition. So we're embellishing the simplicity of the complication with depth of details. More complicated compositions, like designed well, and different tools like perspective and stuff like that, implementing The less detail you necessarily need to sell the piece is looking good. Detail always oversells a piece's quality. People that don't know what to look for, that aren't like used to looking at art, won't notice technical flaws in a piece that's otherwise well detailed. But they'll notice, like the more trained you are in composition, the more you're going to recognize strong or weak compositions, and then again, the quality of detail is just going to complement the composition overall. Transform, flip horizontal, slide that into position. We're going to merge that down. Smooth that out a little bit, get that curve in. There we go. And drop the opacity so that we want to maintain these silhouettes. So adding color in is good, but keeping a silhouette in place is important. Let's grab that. Zero. Let's do it like this. Yeah. Like that. Well, it lined up nicely, didn't it? Merge those down. Extend those out. Erase the bits. Curve it up. Generally good enough. And let's grab here. I'm just going to block this one in and then just use that. Zero this here on the eraser, drop that down, make sure this is staying inside it. This is a very little block here. And we can shave at its edges and sides a little bit here to give it that same curve look. do the horns separately. I'm gonna grab like that. Make this pop a little bit better. And then I'm gonna break the symmetry by not duplicating that effect over here, leaving this one like facing towards the camera, right? Just give it a little bit of a tweak. So it's not 100% straight on. But I don't have to really worry about perspective too much because it's a curved tower anyway. It's cylindrical. So I can cheat a lot of perspective with the cylinder if I keep myself conformed to the lighting that's already established on this structure. That should work. Again, we're learning here, so I'm being nitpicky about it. There. That feels good. Like that. And we'll go with just a little bit of red on the bottom. Give it a pop of color. There. That makes sense. Aha! We're starting to get into stuff that you can actually see. Ha 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 ha. Very good, but we're gonna do this one anyway. I don't know why I like this red for undercolor. It was really dark and it adds a little bit of heat, which I think goes along with the haze on the bottom. Rising up, I think that radiance makes sense as a warmth, and I think this vaguely red color I think leans into that dark warmth a little bit more. So that's why that's the narrative. I think that's the technical decision that I made there with this. Just gonna let that stick. I don't do this for all of the buildings, but I like doing it occasionally for some of them. Fading it out. Oop. Unforced error. Trim that up a little bit. Trim that a little bit. Trim that a little bit. Keep that curve. Look to it. Very, very subtle. I know that's very subtle, but I'm sure you can see it better than I can. All right, we're gonna leave that like that. And let's see. How do we want to be? Let's go. Let's just go hunt. Dog will hunt. Brr, brr, boom, doom, dip, 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 dip. Yeah, good. Let's add in. I need to do something. Oh, that's the problem I have with this. Because I didn't do anything to conify it. Of course. That's way too severe. That was poorly done. Oof, that's being poorly done too. We can do better. You gotta do better, Senator. Can't say senator without sin. Keep that in mind, kids. I don't know why that came to mind. Let's do that. Let's cleave through that. There, that feels better. So we'll cut paste, flip transform, flip horizontal. What is the opacity going on over here? Let's crank that up to cap. There. No, let's be there. Oh boy. Huh. Let's merge those. There we go. Now it looks a little bit more natural. Good. Hey, that's all we needed there. I'm happy with that. Drab's not looking so drab anymore, does it? Hey, what's going on? Well, hey, what's going on, Fernando? It's good to see you, my guy. Hey, what's going on, Fernando? It's good to see you, my guy. We're just getting this thing done, slowly but surely, you know? Do I just want to block this all in? Possibly. this all in. Woof, it's just a big square. I don't know if I even like it anymore. I'm probably going to have to embellish it somehow. Alright, screw this. Let's get rid of that. Let's instead focus on making this an actually interesting shape. Instead of just a block on top of the building. How drab. That's the real drab building, y'all. Let's make this one a little bit more interesting. Fernando, what you got going on? So far, so good, my man. So far, so good. It's coming along nicely. We're actually making a lot of really great progress on these toppers today. I'm really surprised at how smoothly that's coming along. Ooh, I like this. Kind of have a bit more of a Taj Mahal. I don't know what those spires are called, but they have them on the Kremlin too. I've got one over here, but this one's not super good. But this one is like, I can do like this. I think that's going to end up making a lot of sense. Oops. Let's trim that up a little bit here. We can copy, paste, free transform, flip horizontal. Line those up. Merge them down. And yeah, scooch them into position. There we go. What's up? What do you prefer, Eberron or... Oh my god, Eberron in a heartbeat. Definitely Eberron. Eberron is my go-to world of choice, and it has been for... Since 2004, Eberron has been my preferred... if I'm going to go with a prefabbed world, it's going to be Eberron. And I've integrated Planescape and Spelljammer, even Dark Sun into my Eberron campaigns. So like all the IPs that I love from TSR, I've melded into what Eberron is, making it very distinct in my Eberron. But yeah, I love it. Forgotten Realms, I'm fine with Forgotten Realms. I'll adventure in Forgotten Realms if I'm on the rare instances when I'm not DMing. But if I'm DMing, even if we're in Bytopia and doing a Planescape campaign, it's going to be framed in reference from Eberron as a part of this world, and it always is. I love Warforged too much. I love the Dargoon. I love Droam. I love the Morning. I love Zendrick. There's so everything in Eberron is just like, this is good stuff. Despite how heavily I homebrew my stuff, I love the roots of what Eberron really is, and how much it encourages it. Like how much Keith encourages you to throw away any particular canon. It's not important at all. That's very much my approach to content as well. So it's endearing to me. And that was my timer. So I'm technically out of time this morning. It's 8 o'clock here in Seattle, or almost. I got to bounce out of here to go to my day job. But I should have a lunch design stream that we're going to work on the trade command for the Bastion campaign. I'm anticipating that to be just around 2:30 p.m. Seattle time, which is 6.5 hours from now. So if anyone that's out there is checking this stuff out and it's your first time through and you want to see, I'm doing the artwork for the books that I've already created, so that we can actually publish them. So the Bastion campaign is a book that's still in creation. which will eventually become my morning project like this, and we'll be doing artwork for the Bastions. Which I think is another reason why I don't mind investing all of this time that I have in creating this Sharn landscape, as well as like the other landscape pieces that we did in Aether Academy. Like those are all good examples of Bastions in the Bastion system that I developed. So basically all this art that I've been doing for Eberron is I'm going to be able to basically pick it up and drop it into the Bastion campaign book that we're building. I think that's why I'm actually so motivated to take my time with this. Because I can reuse my own stock art as much as I want. It's mine. I trim that away. Hold on. The fug? Respect the perspective there, buddy. Thank you. Take that. And the muse isn't letting me go. She's like, you gotta go. I'm like, I gotta go, babe. And she's like, no. I just want to finish this one little bit. I'm like, okay. Making us late, girl. My heart, she knows what she wants. I don't mind that my heart is girl. That's fine with me. It makes me complicated, and I'm fine with being complicated. If my heart didn't identify as a girl, I don't think I'd be able to love it as much as I do. Hey, cool. That's good enough. It's good enough. We'll probably drop a highlight on it, and we'll probably drop some highlights in over here. But so far, so good. This is really, I'm really happy with how all this is coming along. There's that, there's that, there's that, there's that. I'm gonna make these all the same cluster, like that. Mezzanine? No. Anyway, cluster. We'll just call that cluster. I'm gonna hit the save button real quick. I gotta bounce out of here now. Right on, man. Well, I'd be happy to have you, Fernando, if you can make it. But obviously, you can catch the replay. Anyone else? I'm at 599 subscribers. If anyone thinks this stuff is cool and wants to be number 600, God bless you. We'll get there eventually. Anyone is welcome to tag along. Be welcome to ask me questions. Join my Discord community down below. Check out my books that are all linked down below. They all have 100% free preview on the DMsGuild. So just take in the knowledge, enjoy the artwork, and if you want to slide some money my way, you can do so on Patreon or by buying books or both. Blah. I will see you guys in the future in 6.5 hours. See you then. Cheers.